Any doubts from last class? Any doubts from last class? Unit 4 Introduction, IDE, API. 3 topics we have completed. Already comfortable? Have you remember all points? Hope you learn a wrapper classes yesterday. You started learning wrapper class. Did you find auto boxing, auto unboxing points also, object pooling points also? Huh? Did you find auto boxing explanation? What is auto boxing? How to do auto boxing? What is happening auto boxing? Auto boxing not there? Object pooling there, value of method explanation. Okay. Don't worry, auto boxing I'll explain. If not there, I will explain you. Don't worry. I'll explain and record and upload to you. Okay. I'll revise once again what are how many points covered in wrapper class, and the remaining things I'll explain you. Okay. I'll explain you and record and upload. Okay. Exceptionally, we'll start today. Exceptionally. So the prerequisites to start exceptionally, the knowledge already you have got, that's sufficient to start. Let's start exception handling. So now I'm teaching exception handling with Eclipse and also with Edit Plus. Some examples will work with Eclipse, some examples will work with Edit Plus. Okay, so that both you will understand. You can easily pass written test exams. Lunch. Yeah, some of your batch students are created a gossip and spreading in the market. Okay, I'm suffering from COVID. Is it true? How many of you are feeling that I'm suffering from COVID? I'm safe. Okay, don't worry. Object class I'll explain with collections. In collections, anyways, you should learn, there we learn. 2 times I don't want to talk. Okay, first point, tell me, what is the chapter name? Exception handling. So here you need to learn two things. What is exception? Then what is exception handling? You know, from the day beginning of every chapter, we are learning two things. MVC architecture. Variable, types of variables. Method, types of methods. Every chapter has two parts. Okay. Same way, if you come to exception handling, we have two things. First, you should learn what is exception. Why exception? Exception is advantage of problem. Okay, advantage is there, problem also there. So when problem is there, how to solve that problem? Okay, to solve that problem, we have exception handling. So first points we are trying to understand what is an exception. Okay, what is an exception? Chapter name is exception handling. So if you get clarity on this topic, exception handling, that's enough. So what first we're trying to understand exception. What is an exception? Tell me, what is an exception? And now I'm writing one program here, system.out.println, standard statement for easy understanding. I am dividing a number by 0. Is it valid operation or invalid operation? Whenever you are performing one operation, for that operation, if the given values are wrong, for the given values are wrong. So this is an operation, division operation. To the division operation, given values are wrong, then compilation time no error, because compiler sees that the values type only. Actual value valid or not valid, compiler will not see. Compiler will see as per syntax, the value type is valid or not, it will see. But JVM will see the given values are valid or not. So if JVM found the given values are wrong, it will throw errors. Okay, it will throw errors. Look at there, we are getting exception, we are getting, look at there, exception. Now exception coming in which thread? Main thread. What is that exception? Java.lang.arithmetic exception divided by 0. Now it is coming in the class test01 main method in the Java file line number 8. Okay, now tell me, what is an exception? Exception coming at a compilation time or runtime? Runtime. So I can say exception is a runtime error. Exception is a runtime error coming at runtime now. So it is a runtime error. Tell me why this error is coming. This error is coming due to wrong inputs. Okay. This error, this exception or runtime error coming due to wrong inputs. So what is an exception? An exception is a runtime error caused due to wrong values given by end user during program execution. Okay, during program execution, if given values are wrong, then you will get exception. Everybody got clarity? Yeah? So if somebody asks what is an exception, exception is a runtime error. Okay, exception is a runtime error. It is caused due to wrong values given by end user during program execution. Okay, then still one more definition there to the exception. Try to understand. When you run this program, you got some message like this: exception in a thread main java.lang.arithmetic exception. What is this? The selected part is what? What is the selected part? The selector part is class name. Java.lang. It is a package name. Na? Java.lang. It is a package. Parent package followed by sub package. Java.lang. Arithmetic exception is the class name. Tell me, this class name or this class representing any business logic? No. Is it performing any validations, calculations? No. Is it storing any values? No. It is just representing a logical mistake. Okay. A logical mistake occurred in the program. Exception represents the logical mistake occurred in the program. What is that logical mistake? Divided by 0 is the logical mistake. Okay, got clarity? Yeah? So what is an exception? Exception is a class. Then this class contains some information about this logical mistake. Okay, in which thread this exception raised? What is that exception? What is the reason for exception? In which class that exception raised? In this class, in which method? This class and method available in which Java file? At what line number? If you want to store all this information, I need some object now. Are you catching my point? I need some object, right? So tell me, what is an exception at runtime? Okay, theoretically, exception is a runtime error, but technically, what is an exception? Technically, what is an exception? Exception is an object. Repeating again, what is an exception? Exception is an object, okay, which is an instance of one class. Okay, tell me how many logical mistakes we can have in a program. We can have n number of logical mistakes. For each logical mistake, we require separate class na. Again repeating, exception is an object which is an instance of one class. Then all these classes are meant for representing logical mistake, right? All these exceptions are meant for representing logical mistake. Then now whenever you find multiple classes of one type, there should be a one common superclass na. Come on. Then who is that common superclass? Lion, tiger, elephant, or common type of object. For all these common type, what is the common superclass? What is the common superclass? Animal. Why animal? Because all these are of type animal. Now bus, car, bike, all these are same type of object. What type of objects? Vehicle. So the superclass is what? Vehicle. Now tell me, student, faculty, admin, all these are same type of object. What type of object? Person type of object. There should be a superclass called person. Similarly, tell me, arithmetic exception, array index out of bounds exception, number format exception, all these are what? Exceptions. Then who is the superclass of all these classes? Everyone should answer. Everyone should answer. If you answer, then only you remember the point. Please come on, open up your mouth. Who is the superclass? Superclass is throwable. Okay, who is the superclass? Throwable. All people are telling exception, exception, exception. It is wrong answer. Exception is not the superclass. Throwable is the superclass. Why the class name is throwable? Why not exception? Very simple. These classes are exception representing classes, but they are basically throwable type. They can be throw. Okay, exceptions can be throw. That's why they are throwable. Okay. Now the question, this exception throwable class is divided into two subtypes. All exceptions are divided into two subtypes. Tell me, person is divided into two subtypes. What are the two subtypes? Student and employee. Actually, admin you should not write here. Okay. Now there are different types of employees are there. Now the employee type is what? Faculty. Employee type is what? Admin. Employee type is what? Manager. Employee type is what? Office boy. Okay, like this, there are different types of employees are there. Student, different types of students are there. Now what the two different types of students? Only core Java student, core Java, advanced Java package student, and complete Java package student. Okay, different types of students we have. Okay, same way, all exceptions are superclass is throwable, and it is divided into, all exceptions are divided into two types, that is error and exception. Error and exception divided into two types, error and exception. Are you catching my point? What are the classes you are feeling subclasses? Those are subclasses of exception. So why we have two types of classes, error and exception? Okay, simply try to observe now. We will get problems. We will get runtime problems at two levels. Number one, JVM memory level. Inside JVM, okay, at method area memory level, heap area memory level, Java stacks area memory level. Inside memory level, we get some problems. Okay, and at the verification, loading time, method class loading time, verification time, memory allocation time. Okay, if any problems are come, then JVM throwing exception. That JVM level memory problems are represented by error. Already following. So what is an exception? Exception is an instance. Exception is an object. It is an instance of throwable or one of its subclasses. And now throwable is a superclass of all exceptions, and it is divided into two types, error and exception. Okay, it is divided into two types, error and exception. So why we have two types, error and exception? Okay, all exceptions are divided into two types, error and exception, because exception may come at two places. Okay, from JVM memory level problems and inside thread our program logic problems. Okay, inside our thread program logic problems. Now program logic problems are represented by exception. JVM memory level problems are represented by error. Hope all you people got clarity. Right. So we need to represent JVM memory level problems. Also, we need to represent Java program execution level problems. So finally, tell me, there are two definitions for exception. What the two definition? Exception is a runtime error. It occurred during program execution because of wrong inputs given by user. Next definition, exception is an object, which is an instance of java.lang. Throwable or one of its subclasses. Okay, na? Next, tell me, sir. Still, we have one more definition. Now, tell me, here I am writing something like this: system.out.println, double quotes, main start. Okay, main start. And next, system.out.println, main end. Tell me, if exception is not raised, what happened? If exception is not raised, program will go normally main start, output, main end. If exception raised here, is the program going normal flow? No. Normal flow will be disturbed. So what is an exception? Exception is a signal. Exception is a signal that tells us abnormal condition occurred and normal flow of execution is disturbed. Right? What is an exception? Exception is a signal in the program or signal or event in the program. Okay, exception is a signal or event in a program that tells us the normal flow of execution is disturbed. Some kind of unexpected condition, some kind of unexpected condition is occurred and program normal flow of execution is disturbed and terminated. So totally three definitions are there. Exception, an exception is a runtime error caused during program execution because of wrong inputs given by user. An exception is an object which is an instance of java.lang. Throwable or one of its subclasses. An exception is an event that occurred during program execution to tell us unexpected condition is occurred and the normal flow of execution is disturbed. Is it clear? These are the three definitions you have to remember about what is an exception. Then tell me, why exception? Everybody tell me. Come on, come on. This is a very interesting point. Why exception? Exception is to stop abnormal termination. Come on. Exception is to stop abnormal termination or to terminate program abnormally. What is your feeling? Why exception? Exception is to stop abnormal termination or to stop a program abnormally. Do you understand my point? When exception is raised, what happened? Program terminated abnormally. Many people are feeling that exception is meant for stop abnormal termination. No, 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 no. Exception is meant for stopping program abnormally, not to stop abnormal termination. We want to terminate abnormally. So why exception? Exception is meant for stopping, terminating program abnormally. Okay, terminating program abnormally when wrong inputs are given. Is it clear to all? When exception rise, what happened? Program terminated abnormally. When wrong inputs are given, program should be terminated abnormally. So by using exception, we can stop program abnormally when wrong inputs are given. Tell me, if you don't stop abnormally, what happened? Program executed normally and wrong results we will get. Na? So we'll get wrong results. Tell me, third point. What happened when exception raised? 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 Program is terminated abnormally. Okay, all 3 points understand? If you understand these 3 points, I'll take you to the next story. Now I have 2 words I told you, exception, exception handling. I completed first word meaning exception. What is an exception? Why exception? What happened when exception is raised? When exception raised, program terminated abnormally. Tell me, when exception raised here, what is the problem of running this line? Sometimes problem, sometimes no problem. Are you catching my point? If exception raised here, there is no problem here. I can say main end. I am not using the result of this expression in the next line. It is an independent line. Are you catching my point? If next lines are depending on this line generated value, then we should terminate program abnormally. When it is not, when this line is not depending on the previous line, then tell me, do we get any problem? No. So can I run this program? Can I run this line even though exception raised here? Can I run this line even though exception raised here? Possible or not? Yes. Then now tell me, 4th point I'm trying to ask you. Now 4th question I'm asking, how can we stop abnormal termination? How can we stop abnormal termination? Tell me. By catching exception, right? How can we stop abnormal termination? By handling exception. Okay, by handling exception. Okay, tell me, what is the meaning of, what is an exception handling? What is an exception handling? Tell me, what is an exception handling? Exception handling is nothing but, many people feels that only catching. No. It's not only catching, okay? Either reporting or catching. Either reporting or catching an exception to stop abnormal termination is called what? Exception handling. Again repeating, either reporting or catching. For example, somebody going on the road, okay? Backside, other person is now running towards the first person, trying to hurt him, trying to kill him or trying to hurt him. Then third person has seen it, and now there are 2 options are there. Either this person can save the first person, this third person can save the first person, or Anvesh, you wanted to listen class or you want to leave class? If you want to come up with your own ideas, better you sit in the home and prepare yourself, okay? Are you catching my point? You are thinking your own way, handling runtime errors. Can I say handling runtime errors? You keep on repeating the same point again and again, not listening what I'm telling. So if you want to be like this, then you don't understand. Later you will trouble me and trouble the class. So if you wanted to think your own way and not listening the class, not trying to repeat what I am trying to tell you, better you sit in the home and follow some textbook and learn yourself. Already told here, reporting an exception or catching an exception is called exception handling. And you, after my explanation completed, you post this message, handling runtime errors, can I say exception handling? Then why you, when you don't want to follow me, why you are attending class? Waste, na? What is the runtime error? Runtime error is nothing but exception. What is the exception handling? Handling exception. How many ways we can handle exception? Two ways. Number one, by reporting or by catching. So reporting an exception or catching an exception is exception handling. Okay. Now tell me, what the meaning of reporting? I'm trying to explain. Already I'm in the process of explaining and you are in the process of thinking your own points. And finally you will come back again saying that not understand, sir. Or you will say your own answer to the interviewer and finally you will fail in the interview. So come on, please follow me, okay? Connect to me. Only try to take the words I am trying to give, okay? Now, again repeating. So now there is a three persons are there. Person number one, walking on the road. Person number two, trying to kill first person. Then the third person, we have seen this incident. He has two options. Option number one, either he can save that first person or he can shout and tell to one nearer person, whoever there. Okay, he can shout and tell to other person saying that, okay, please try to save him. Now tell me, there the two options are there. What are the two options? Reporting and catching. So reporting is nothing but I am not catching the exception raised in my program. I am informing to other programmer to handle, to catch, other programmer to catch. Okay, I am not catching. So exception raised inside my method, I am informing to my method caller, whoever calling this method. For example, take add method. In add method, I got exception. I am not catching the exception raised in my add method. I want to inform, I want to report to my add method caller. Okay, na? Then this situation is called what? Reporting exception. All you understand? Next, when exception rise inside my method, I myself catching. I am not allowing other people to catch. Then we call it as what? Catching exception. So what is an exception handling? Exception handling is the process of either reporting or catching the exception rise inside a method is called exception handling. The process of reporting or catching an exception raised in the method is called what? Exception handling. Then tell me, by handling exception, what are you doing? What happened? By handling exception, what will happen? What will happen by handling exception? Tell me, by handling exception, two things are happening. Number one, you are stopping abnormal termination. Stopping abnormal termination. Number two, whenever you catch exception, go back to previous program. This exception message is displayed by whom? JVM. Look at that. This exception message, Java exception message. This is displayed by JVM. Is it understandable to you and me? Is it understandable to you and me? Is it understandable to you and me? Hey, who are you and who are me? Ray? You and me are programmers. Even as a programmer, if you don't understand, who can understand it? This is our Java message, Java English. We must understand it. Exception rise in main thread. That exception is java.lang.arithmetic exception. It came because of divided by 0 at line number 17. Go to line number 17 and try to solve it. Right? Yes or no? Tell me. Is this message understandable to programmer? Yes. Is it understandable to end user? If I display this message to the end user, can he understand? No, he will cry like anything. Then what to do? By catching that exception, I should display user understandable message, user understandable English message to solve this problem. Already catching my point? So finally try to answer, how can we stop abnormal termination? By using exception handling. What is an exception handling? It is a process of reporting. The process of reporting or catching an exception that is raised in our method is called exception handling. What will happen when we handle exception? What will happen? What will happen when we handle exception? When we handle exception, program is stopped, abnormal termination is stopped. Okay, we can stop abnormal termination of the program and we can display user understandable message. Everybody got clarity? Then now tell me, seventh point, how can we handle exception? Okay, by handling exception we can do that, but how to handle exception? For reporting, handling exception means what? Handling exception means what? Reporting, right? For reporting, we have to use a keyword called throws. For reporting, we should use the keyword throws. For reporting, we must use throws keyword. Okay. Next, next one, for catching, we must use try catch keywords. Understand? For reporting, we must use throws keyword. For catching, we must use try catch keywords. Any doubts up to now? 7 questions. All people are comfortable? Shall we write a program first for catching exception to stop abnormal termination and displaying user understandable message? And then further, I will show you how to report that exception to other program to catch the exception. Okay, now? Now tell me, I'm writing main method, public static void main of string array args, open bracket, closed bracket. Inside main method, what do you write now? I'm writing first statement, system.out.println main start. Without knowing how to work with them, how can you decide which is best? Huh? Without knowing, without eating strawberry ice cream and butterscotch ice cream, how can I decide which ice cream is best? And the question is wrong. The question what you have asked itself is wrong question. Throwing or handling. Throwing is one type of handling. First, you are not understanding the words properly and you want advanced topics. Huh? That is the problem you people are facing. You don't first of all properly understand what I am explaining, but you want always future, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, end of the chapter coming topics you want to learn today itself. That is the biggest, dirtiest brains you are having in this world. As a student, I'm telling you, question itself is wrong. There are two ways of handling, reporting and catching, or throwing and catching. But you are asking question, so throwing is better, handling is better. You are asking question, father is better, dad is better. How can I say? Father and dad both are same. First learn the points here, what I am trying to explain, try to learn the points. Don't deviate your mind. Topic is not completed yet, you are putting the questions, many questions. Good, thank you. Then try to understand, listen to understand, not to reply, not to ask questions. It's a beginning, right? If the chapter completed, then you are asking questions, it's okay. It's a beginning. In the beginning, only so many questions you are raising in your mind and confusing yourself. Change your attitude. Concentrate on current topic. That is what I am scolding from the first day of the course. Concentrate on current topic. What is the current topic? Okay, without knowing the program, how can I decide which is best? Okay, if something is best, why other thing is there? Tell me. If catching is best, why throwing is there? If throwing is best, why catching is there? So the question itself is wrong. You cannot decide which is best. Based on situation, you have to choose. Some places we need to catch, some places we need to report. Already I gave example also. You are next to that first person, you will catch him and save. You are somewhere far distance, you cannot save him. So you are shouting at other person to save him, right? So both are best. You cannot say which is best. Now tell me. We must handle exception. How can we handle exception? By reporting or by catching. Nothing but reporting is nothing but throwing. People are saying throwing, but throwing is wrong question. Okay, wrong thought. Reporting is the correct statement. Okay, fine. Now I'll come to the next question. Okay, explain. Okay, I can say try catch syntax for catching an exception. What is an exception? Technically, what is an exception? Technically, what is an exception? Technically, what is an exception? Exception is not class, Rabbi. Exception is an object. Technically, what is an exception? Exception is an object. Okay? If it is an object, if you are catching, object catching is nothing but storing, na? Now, catch want to catch exception. For example, you take M1 method. M1 method wanted to receive one object. To receive one object, M1 method should have parameter, na? Example E. You wanted to receive student object. Parameter should be student, yes. Similarly, catch want to catch exception. When catch want to catch exception, you should have parameter, right? Okay, catch of. What must be there? Catch of. Parameter must be there. What the parameter? Exception class name. Which exception you want to catch? Arithmetic exception. Parameter name E. Open bracket, closed bracket. If you want to catch exception, first of all, that exception should come na. To get that exception, I should write logic, right? To get the exception, I should write logic. First statement, second statement, third statement, like this. If an exception arises in these three statements, catch exception. Tell me, if you want to say in these three statements only exception come, you try to catch it, then I have to surround these three statements, right? Hello? I must block these three statements and I should use what keyword? Try. You try to catch the exception rising in these three statements. What the meaning of it? You try to catch the exception rising in these three statements. After catching exception, I have to take, I have to write some logic here. I have to write some logic here to take proper actions. Now here, try, what do you write? Exception causing statements. Exception causing statements. Now my question, okay, these are the exception causing statements, but there are some dependent statements also on this exception causing statement. For example, I written int c equal to 10 by 0. Then down I have written SOPL and C. Now this SOPL and C is the dependent on first statement. Now. So tell me that SOPL and C I should write inside try block or after try catch block? Inside try block. If the first statement executed, second statement also should execute. So here what you write? Exception causing statements and their dependent statements. Exception causing statements and their dependent statements will place inside try block. And then inside catch block, we will write what? Except handling exception. Okay, handling exception. Okay, when exception is, what are the logic you want to execute? That logic is nothing but handling exception logic. Exception handling logic. Okay, got clarity? Yeah? So what the syntax of try catch? Inside try block, we will place the logic that is causing exception and the dependent statement. Catch will contain a parameter. Now this parameter will receive that exception and store in the parameter name, and further exception will be executed. Hope you all understand syntax. Try catch syntax for catching exception. Any doubts? With this syntax knowledge, can you write a program? Develop division program to catch. In place of arithmetic exception, any exception I can write now. So I'm writing some exception. Some exception is exception handling statement, exception handling logic. Develop division program to catch arithmetic exception and display. Okay. To stop abnormal termination and to display user understandable message. Everyone understood now? Can you write code yourself? First what write? Try. Try system.out.println 10 by 0. Okay, I'm writing system.out.println 10 by 0. Following by what you write? Catch of what you write now here? Arithmetic exception E. System.out.println. Tell me, the exception raised here is stored in this E variable. You want to use this exception, you want to display your own message. I want to display my own message. To display my own message, now system.out.println double quotes, we write what? don't pass second number as what you call 0. Don't pass second number as 0. Hope you all got clarity. Shall I run this program? What is the output of this program? Tell me. Main start. Then we'll get message don't pass second number as 0. And then main end. Why? Because earlier when exception rise, because you didn't catch exception, program terminated abnormally. Further statements are not executed. But now, when exception raised, you catch that exception. When exception raised, you catch that exception. So from here, control is going here. From there, control is coming out. So if exception raised in the program and you caught program not terminated abnormally. Look at there, main start, don't pass second number as 0, main end. So now the program terminated normally, abnormally? Normally. If exception caught by JVM, program terminated abnormally. If exception caught by the same program by using catch block, program terminated normally. Can I hope all you people got basic idea on exception and exception handling? Okay, I want to develop 2 programs. Are you ready? Same division program, real life style, 2 programs I want to develop. Okay, before going to that program, I want to ask you one question. Let's see how many people can answer. How can we solve exception? Let me see how many intelligent students are there in the class. How can we solve exception? How can we solve exception? Come on, come on, come on. How can we solve exception? How can we solve exception? By handling exception. Excellent. How can we solve exception? By handling exception. Okay. Okay, you are suffering from headache. How the headache will be cured? You are suffering from the stomach pain. How the stomach pain is cured? By joining in hospital. Huh? By joining in hospital, is your problem solved? By seeing the doctor, is your problem solved? That's what you are telling. By joining in hospital, okay, by seeing the doctor, is your problem solved? Come on, guys, try to think. Is my question understand to all? By handling exception is problem solved? No. Just abnormal termination is stopped. We can display user understandable message. Any number of times you run this program, any number of times you run this program, any number of times you run this program, what happened? Exception rising. That's why catch block is executing. Problem solved or not solved? Come on, problem solved or not solved? Not solved. Problem not solved. Okay, problem coming. Then how the problem solved? By changing inputs. Okay, by changing input. 0 change it to 2. Now we'll get correct results. Okay, change to 5. We'll get correct results. So tell me, how can we solve exception? Below the most important point. Many people are thinking that by exception handling problem not solved, problem still there. Okay, just you make up. Problem still there, just you make up. Tell me now. So how to solve this problem? By changing input or bypassing correct input. Now tell me, how can we stop abnormal termination? For this question, answer is what? By handling exception. If you want to stop abnormal termination, then exception handling. Okay? Did you understand? All people got clarity on these two questions? How can we solve exception? How can we stop abnormal termination? Okay. Now, I'll show you the next point. I can say next program, a simple program. Develop a program, develop division program. Are you writing programs along with me or not? We're just watching a develop division program to report arithmetic exception to caller. Who is passing correct input, Mr. Shivam? Who is passing input? Are you passing or end user will pass? The question is coming like this. All people read. Good question. If you pass correct input always, then what is the need of exception handling? A good question. Who is passing? Have you given correct username password always in Gmail, Facebook? Mr. Shivam, reply. If you not replying, then I cannot do anything. Who is passing the values? You are passing or end user passing? End user passing. When end user passing wrong values, I must handle it. I must reply to him, or pass correct value, na? Is it clear? Mr. Shivam, exception handling purpose? Exception handling purpose to tell to end user, pass correct value. That doesn't mean that exception is not solved. By handling exception, we stop abnormal termination and show the error message to the user. By reading this error message, now end user will pass the correct value to solve this exception. Okay, na? I hope you got clarity. Right. So develop division program to report arithmetic exception to caller. Tell me. This logic I must not write. Where? This logic I must not write in main method now. I should define one method. I am defining static void division div of. I am taking int a comma int b. Then when I write a return, okay, I'm writing system dot out dot println s out s out. I'm writing here a by b. Okay, na Bujje? I've written a by b. Now tell me, when I write a by b, what happened? There is a chance we'll get arithmetic exception here. Earlier in the previous program, what you did, you only caught that exception and displaying error message. But now you don't want to catch the exception. Whatever exception rising here, I am informing to other programmer, whoever calling my div method. In that case, you must write here throws. By writing throws keyword following by which exception rising here? Arithmetic exception. That arithmetic exception you should mention here. Okay, na? Now what are you doing now? You are reporting. Previous program, you caught the exception. In this program, you are reporting exception. To whom? Whoever calling this div method. And now who is calling this div method? Test programmer. Div of by passing 10 comma 0. Tell me now. When he called div of 10 comma 0, 10 is coming to a parameter, 0 coming to b parameter, exception raised here, arithmetic exception. That exception is passed to main method. Main method execution terminated abnormally. Look at that, exception raised in div method at line number 17. It came to what? Main method. Main method terminated normally, abnormally? Abnormally. Exception raised here, reported div, then it come here, no one catch here. Then tell me, I wanted to stop main method termination normally. Anybody can help me? What to do now? Anybody tell me what to do now? Test 04, I want you teach me. Now what is our target? I want report and catch. So now 12th program, 13th point, develop division program to report and catch. Report and catch to stop abnormal termination and to display user understandable message. Okay. Tell me, what do you need to write here? System dot outer println double quotes, main start, main end, div of 10 comma 0. Now this 10 comma 0 throwing an exception. I should call this method inside try block. Try catch off. Tell me, how do I know what exception this do method throwing? By looking at prototype. Static void div of int a comma int b. Here I have throws arithmetic exception. By seeing this message throws arithmetic exception, I realized, okay, this method throwing arithmetic exception, I should stop abnormal termination. Then surround the div method, surround the div method by using try block, and catch block should catch the exception, arithmetic exception E. And you want to display arithmetic exception or you want to display our own message? Our own message. Don't pass 0 as second value. Okay, and here you write the logic. System dot out dot println. System dot out dot println a by b. Now in a div method, I am reporting exception to the caller. The caller is catching the exception. Now look at there, don't pass 0 as second value coming now. Hope you understanding, following me. Any doubts up to now? Okay, now I want you to develop complete full-fledged program. Ready? I want you to develop full-fledged program. I want you only try. Develop a program to read two integers from keyboard from command line. If any catch those exceptions and display user understandable messages. Yeah. So this is the code. This is the question. Try you develop. You try to develop. Okay. Yeah, completed. What do you write? Main method. Now I should write try. Okay, we'll write try later. First, let me write a normal program. Int a equal to integer dot parse int of args of 0. Next, int b equal to integer dot parse int of args of 1. Then int c equal to a by b. System dot out dot println double quotes result colon plus c. Enana? That's all right. This is the reading values from the command line and dividing and displaying result. Tell me, if I run this program, what happens? If I run this program as it is, if I give this program to, okay, I wanted to run as a regular command prompt program, there is a terminal. In Eclipse, we have a concept called terminal. This is a terminal. Click on this. Okay, local terminal starting. It started pointing to C users HK, but I want current directory, right? So go to D drive, 9 AM, exception handling, practice, SRC. Copy this, paste will work here. Yeah, C, D colon, clear screen. Okay, Java C. Instead of opening separate console, you can follow this. Java C, test 0, what the class name? 05, test 05 dot Java. This is nothing but command prompt window. Okay, local terminal, nothing but command prompt window. You develop this project and given to customer. Customer can remember this program should pass command line arguments. That is the problem of command line arguments application, right? You don't remember. When you press enter, you will get exception. Exception in thread main, java.lang.array index out of bounds exception. Okay, tell me, is this big error message understandable to end user? Is this big message understandable to end user? No. End user, look at this error message, not understand anything, and he will call to developer. Who is the developer? I own. I taken 1 crore rupee to develop this division program, assume. Then now this project, our developer and given, now he is called me and asking, Hare Hari, Babu Hari, what are you doing? What I will do? US client is calling in my night time. I'm in sleeping mode. Yes, I'm sleeping. Tell me what is the problem. Get up, useless fellow. I got some problem. Yeah, please tell me what the problem. There is some error message I'm getting, something called exception in thread main java.lang.array index. Okay, array index out of bounds exception are you getting? I asked him. He said, yes. Array, I told you now you have to pass 2 numbers as Java test 05 via phone. I am instructing him Java test 05 10 and 2 some inputs I should give. I told you no. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. Okay, then end user remembered it, recollected it, and now executed. We are getting result 5. Exception not come. Then he is a continue testing. As part of his testing, unknowingly while entering some 1 or 2, he entered Q and press enter. He got a big exception. Again he got exception. Again he called to Hari Krishna and asking, Babu Hari, this time you got big message. There is something called exception in a thread main java.lang.number format exception. Array, don't pass other than numbers. Don't pass other than numbers. Either first value, second value should be only number. Check once might be you send some characters or other than numbers. Oh yeah, you are right. I send Q, I should not pass Q. Okay. Then now we changing Q to some value 4 and then running. Okay, some value 6, something running. While in this process, he unknowingly entered 0, got one more error. exception in thread main, java.lang dot arithmetic exception. Then again developer telling, array second value should not be 0 na, why you are passing 0? I already told you, right? Then this customer has asked one beautiful question to the interview, to the programmer. Array, my dear developer, whatever the English messages you are telling over phone, why can't you display that messages from the program to me so that night time I don't disturb your sleep? Is it a valid question? Is it a valid question? Night time I don't disturb you. Why your program not talking to me? Why I need to talk to you? Program is not talking to me. This message is not my understandable message. So program not talking to me. That is where now the concept called exception handling came to stop abnormal termination and to display user understandable message. So this line causing exception, this line causing exception, this line causing exception. This is a dependent statement. So all four statements place inside try block. All these statements place inside try block and write catch block. Tell me how many catch blocks I should write? As many exceptions I am getting, those many catch blocks I should write, right? How many exceptions are coming? Number one, args of 0, array index out of bounds exception. Okay, array index out of bounds exception E. The next integer dot parseInt, it is throwing what exception? It is throwing what exception? Catch of number format exception. Number format exception E. I can take same parameter name. And the next catch of division operator is throwing. Division operator is throwing what exception? Arithmetic exception. Okay. What message you want to tell over phone? System.out.println double quotes. Hey, customer, you have to request. Okay, please. Okay, please enter 2 integers. Next here, I must ask end user to enter system.out.print double quotes. Please enter only integers. Next here, system.out.println. What do you write? Double quotes. Please don't enter what? 0 as second value. Please don't enter second value. Please don't enter 0 as second value. Hope all you people got clarity. Look at there, I didn't pass any values. Open console. Where is terminal? Have open terminal, clear screen, run, compile this program already compiled. Java test 01. Tell me, exception raised. Now I have to compile it. Compile, then execute. Now tell me, earlier we got big exception messages. Now you'll get what? Only message. Please enter 2 integers. And next, I'm giving integer 10a. Then you get, please enter only integers. I'm giving here 10 0. I'm getting, please don't enter 0 as second value. Then I'm giving 2. Now result is 5. Tell me now, program is talking to end user. Come on, everyone, try to answer. Now program is talking to end user. Now program got life. Now tell me, by embedding try catch blocks, by embedding exception handling code try catch block, by catching exception, we are giving life to program to talk to end user. Okay, so this is the basic points about exception handling. Hope all the people understand 14 points. What is an exception? Why exception? What happened when exception is raised? Then, okay, how can we stop abnormal termination? What is an exception handling? What will happen when we handle exception? How can we handle exception? TriCatch syntax for catching an exception. Developing division program to catch arithmetic exception. How can we solve exception? How can we stop abnormal termination? And the next, developing a program to report arithmetic exception to the caller. And the next, developing a program to report and catch. And finally, the real-time example by reading values from command line and exception handling. So all you people are having confidence of what is the problem if I don't use exception handling code? What is the advantage if I use exception handling code? What is the syntax to use? All points are clear? So tomorrow I will explain you the internals of exception handling. Okay. Tomorrow I'll show you how to, the internal flow of exception handling, how this exception object is created, how the information is stored, how the object is passing, all the details that I'm showing in tomorrow class. By tomorrow you are coming to class expecting all the people to practice these points from the material. All these points are clearly there in the material. By heart it. Open volume 1 year textbook. Volume 1 year textbook. Search where exception handling material notes is there. Volume textbook I told, right? Volume 2 na exceptionally. Yeah. Wrapper classes are available in wrapper classes material available in volume 1A. Wrapper classes. Wrapper classes material notes part is there in volume 1A. Page number 122 or like. Yeah, exception handling is also available in volume 1A. Page number 129. Page number 129. Volume 1A, page number 129. Definition of exception. A small program, normal flow, execution with exception, definitions of exception, introduction to throwable class hierarchy, what is the difference between error exception, definition of checked and checked exception. Don't read, you don't understand, I'll explain later. Keywords used in this chapter, try catch, finally throws. Now the program, understanding with the try catch, finally, division program, exceptions are coming, Java messages, then design issue, read these points, exception handling, need of exception handling procedure, how to handle exception in Java program, okay, then try catch block explanation, syntax of try catch blocks, and the program. Page number 140, page number 129 to 140. Are above messages user understandable? Yes, right. These messages are user understandable, so user can input correct values to the execute this program. Okay. So up to page number, from page number 129 to page number 140, please read all points and practice. Come tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll show you internals of exception handling. Thank you. That's all for today class.